Life is full of seasons, and some seasons bring unexpected loss. We may lose relationships, opportunities, financial stability, health, or even a sense of purpose. These moments can leave us feeling broken, hopeless, or abandoned. In the midst of such trials, it is easy to focus only on what has been taken from us, forgetting that God's timing and wisdom are far greater than our own. The loss we experience is not always a sign of failure, but often a preparation for something greater. God is never late. He works quietly behind the scenes, orchestrating events in ways that we cannot yet see. What may seem like an ending is often the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter filled with restoration, blessings, and renewed purpose. Restoration is a divine process. It does not always happen instantly, but there are signs along the way that indicate God is moving on our behalf. Recognizing these signs helps us remain hopeful and aligned with His plan. Many times, God restores not only what we have lost, but also gives us something far greater than what we had before. He restores our faith, our joy, our relationships, and even opportunities that we never imagined. Restoration is not merely about reclaiming the past. It is about embracing a new future where God's glory is revealed through our lives. Often, God begins restoration by first working on our hearts. He strengthens our faith, teaches patience, and develops resilience within us. This inner transformation is critical because what is restored is meant to be better and more meaningful than what was lost. God's restoration is intentional, and it always aligns with His greater purpose for our lives. He may use circumstances, people, or even small signs in our daily lives to signal that restoration is near. The key is to remain attentive, trust His timing, and be obedient to His guidance. In this journey, there are unmistakable signs that God is about to restore everything lost. These signs serve as reminders that we are not alone and that our pain and struggles are not in vain. They can appear as peace in the midst of chaos, unexplainable favor, renewed hope, or even subtle shifts in our circumstances that point towards something greater. Recognizing these signs helps us prepare our hearts to receive the blessings God has in store and encourages us to keep faith alive, even when things seem impossible. In this article, we will explore 10 clear signs that God is about to restore everything you have lost. By understanding and identifying these signs, you will gain clarity, hope, and the confidence to move forward with expectation. Knowing that God is faithful to bring beauty out of ashes and turn your setbacks into a powerful comeback, one of the most powerful signs that God is about to restore everything you've lost is experiencing peace in the midst of chaos. Life often brings storms, financial struggles, broken relationships, failed dreams, or unexpected disappointments. During these moments, it is natural to feel anxious, frustrated, or even hopeless. However, when God is preparing to restore what has been lost, He begins by placing a supernatural peace in your heart, a peace that cannot be explained by circumstances. This peace is not the absence of challenges, but the presence of God's assurance that He is in control. Peace in difficult times is more than just a fleeting feeling. It is a deep, abiding confidence that God sees your situation and is working behind the scenes on your behalf. You may notice that, even when problems arise, your mind no longer races with worry, and your heart does not sink into fear. This calmness is God's way of preparing you to receive what He is about to restore. It signifies that He is aligning your heart with His plan and teaching you to trust His timing. The Bible frequently speaks about God's peace as a hallmark of His presence. In Philippians 4:7 it says, "And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This peace acts as a shield, protecting your mind from the stress and confusion that often accompany loss. When you experience this peace, It is a spiritual signal that God is at work, orchestrating a restoration that is bigger than your current struggles. Experiencing peace despite difficulties also demonstrates spiritual growth. Often, God allows loss to refine our character, develop patience, and deepen our dependence on Him. When we respond to hardships with faith instead of fear, it shows that we are ready to handle the blessings He is about to bring. Peace becomes a mark of readiness, a sign that your heart is being prepared to receive restoration without distraction from anxiety or doubt. It is important to note that this peace is not automatic. It comes from intentionally trusting God. Prayer, meditation on His Word, and surrendering control are ways to cultivate this inner calm. The more you trust Him, the more His peace will settle in your heart. When you feel peace in moments where you would naturally panic, it is a clear indicator that God is positioning you for a breakthrough and that restoration is on the horizon. In summary, peace despite circumstances is a sign that God is preparing to restore what you have lost. It signals that your heart is aligning with His plan, that He is in control, and that greater blessings are coming. When you notice this peace, embrace it, nurture it, and let it strengthen your faith. This peace is a divine confirmation that God is at work, and soon your season of loss will give way to a season of abundance, healing, and restoration, another clear sign that God is about to restore everything you've lost is the gift of sudden clarity and revelation. Often, during times of loss, confusion clouds our minds. We may wonder why certain things happened, why opportunities slipped away, or why relationships ended. Questions swirl endlessly, and the path forward can feel uncertain. However, when God is preparing restoration, He begins to illuminate your mind with understanding. What was once confusing suddenly becomes clear, and the pieces of your life start to fall into place. This clarity can come in many forms. Sometimes it is a new insight about your past choices, helping you see lessons you previously overlooked. Other times, it may be a deep understanding of your purpose or direction, an awareness of what God truly wants for your life. In moments of revelation, things that felt lost or impossible are seen with new perspective, and doors that were previously hidden become visible. This is God's way of guiding you toward the restoration He has promised. Revelation often comes through prayer, scripture, or quiet reflection. God speaks to those who seek Him diligently, and in these moments, He provides guidance and wisdom that can transform your approach to life. For example, you may suddenly understand why certain relationships ended or why particular opportunities were taken away. Instead of feeling regret or bitterness, you begin to see that these losses were part of God's plan to prepare you for something greater. This newfound understanding empowers you to make decisions that align with His will. Another important aspect of this clarity is the revelation of opportunities. When God is about to restore what was lost, He often shows you new paths that you may not have considered before. These opportunities may come as career options, business ventures, or even new relationships that are far better suited to your life and growth than what you had before. The key is that God provides insight first. He opens your eyes to the right path so that restoration is purposeful and sustainable. Experiencing sudden clarity also strengthens faith. When you begin to see God's hand at work, your trust in Him deepens. You realize that nothing in your life is random and that even losses serve a divine purpose. This understanding reduces fear of the future and increases confidence in His promises. You start to move forward with intention, knowing that God is orchestrating circumstances on your behalf, leading you to restoration and abundance. In summary, Sudden clarity and revelation are unmistakable signs that God is about to restore everything you've lost. When confusion turns into understanding and uncertainty gives way to insight, you can be confident that God is revealing the path to renewal. Pay attention to these moments, listen to His guidance, and allow your heart to embrace the clarity He provides. Through revelation, God not only restores what was lost, but often brings something far greater than you ever imagined, guiding you toward a life filled with purpose, joy, and divine blessings. A powerful sign that God is about to restore everything you've lost is the sudden experience of unexplainable favor. This is when circumstances begin to shift in your favor in ways that cannot be attributed to luck, planning, or human effort alone. It may appear as opportunities landing unexpectedly, help arriving from unforeseen sources, or doors opening that were previously closed. This divine favor is God's way of preparing your life for restoration and signaling that He is actively working on your behalf. Unexplainable favor often manifests when you least expect it. For example, a job opportunity may come at the perfect time, even when the odds seemed impossible. A friend or mentor might reach out with guidance, support, or resources that help you recover what was lost. Relationships may be restored, or new ones may appear that bring encouragement, joy, and growth. In every instance, you realize that these blessings are not mere coincidences. They are God's deliberate intervention. One of the most important aspects of this favor is that it arrives in alignment with your needs and God's timing. Often, after experiencing loss, we attempt to regain what was lost through our own strength. However, restoration from God is different. It is not forced or rushed. Unexplainable favor may appear gradually, in small signs that build momentum, or suddenly, in ways that leave you in awe. The key is to recognize these moments and understand that they are divine signals pointing toward a larger restoration. Experiencing favor also strengthens faith. When you notice blessings arriving unexpectedly, your confidence in God's provision grows. You begin to trust that even when situations seem hopeless, He is orchestrating events behind the scenes for your good. The Bible describes this principle in Psalm 5:12. Surely, Lord, you bless the righteous. You surround them with your favor as with a shield. Favor is not earned through merit alone. It is a reflection of God's grace and His commitment to bring back what was lost. Unexplainable favor can also teach humility and gratitude. It reminds you that restoration is not solely about reclaiming what was lost, but about acknowledging God's power and mercy in your life. It encourages you to stay aligned with His will, to remain obedient, and to continue trusting Him even when challenges persist. Recognizing this favor is crucial, as it serves as a divine confirmation that the season of loss is ending and a season of abundance is approaching. In summary, unexplainable favor is a clear sign that God is preparing to restore everything you have lost. When blessings arrive unexpectedly, opportunities align miraculously, and help comes from unexpected places, it is a reminder that God is actively working in your life. This favor signals that restoration is near, and it invites you to walk forward with faith, gratitude, and expectation. Knowing that what is coming is divinely orchestrated and greater than anything you have experienced before, renewed faith is one of the clearest signs that God is about to restore everything you've lost. Often, loss shakes our confidence, leaving us questioning our purpose, our future, and even God's presence in our lives. During such times, it is natural to feel discouraged or overwhelmed. However, when God is preparing to bring restoration, He begins to rekindle your faith. This renewed faith strengthens your trust in His timing, promises, and power, signaling that a season of restoration is approaching. Faith is not merely a feeling. It is an intentional choice to trust God even when circumstances seem bleak. When you experience renewed faith, you begin to see beyond your immediate struggles. You start believing that your current loss is temporary and that God has a plan to restore and even multiply what you've lost. This faith empowers you to continue taking steps forward, praying persistently, and holding on to hope. It acts as a bridge between the pain of loss and the blessings of restoration. Renewed faith often manifests in several ways. You may find yourself praying more earnestly or consistently, seeking God's guidance and presence. You may also feel a stronger connection to His Word, finding comfort and encouragement in scriptures that speak about His faithfulness and restoration. In addition, renewed faith can inspire action, taking steps toward your goals with confidence, pursuing opportunities, and embracing new beginnings with the assurance that God is with you. The process of restoring faith is often gradual. God may allow you to reflect on past experiences, see His hand in previous challenges, and understand that He has always been faithful, even when it wasn't obvious. This reflection helps to rebuild trust and strengthens your spiritual foundation. As your faith grows, you become more resilient, patient, and open to receiving the blessings God has prepared for you. Renewed faith also transforms your perspective on loss. Instead of focusing solely on what is missing, you begin to recognize the lessons, growth, and preparation that loss has provided. You understand that God's restoration is not just about reclaiming the past, but about stepping into a better, more abundant future. This faith prepares your heart to receive what is coming with gratitude, hope, and expectation. In essence, renewed faith is a divine signal that God is actively working to restore your life. When you notice a resurgence of trust, hope, and confidence in His promises, it is a sign that He is aligning circumstances for your restoration. This faith becomes the foundation upon which your comeback is built, enabling you to embrace blessings with clarity and purpose. By nurturing and walking in this renewed faith, you position yourself to experience God's full restoration, knowing that what was lost is on its way back, often in ways far greater than you imagined. A vital sign that God is about to restore everything you've lost is the beginning of a process in which you naturally start letting go of the past. Often, clinging to past hurts, regrets, or missed opportunities keeps us trapped in a cycle of pain and prevents the blessings of restoration from entering our lives. God, in His wisdom, begins by preparing your heart to release what no longer serves you, creating space for the new, restored life He has planned. Letting go does not mean forgetting or minimizing what you have experienced. It is about acknowledging the loss, learning from it, and choosing not to allow it to dictate your future. When God is about to restore what has been lost, He first works on your inner life. He removes attachments to bitterness, resentment, and fear, replacing them with forgiveness, hope, and trust. This transformation allows you to move forward with clarity and purpose. This process often begins subtly. You may notice that past disappointments no longer trigger the same emotional pain. Memories that once caused anxiety or regret may start to fade in intensity, and a sense of calm replaces old unrest. You may also feel the willingness to forgive those who hurt you, not for their sake, but to free yourself. Letting go is a spiritual act that aligns your heart with God's restoration plan. The Bible emphasizes the importance of releasing the past in order to receive the future. In Isaiah 43:18-19, God says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing, now it springs up, do you not perceive it?" Restoration begins when you stop holding on to what has already passed and start focusing on what God is doing in the present and future. Letting go opens the door for His blessings, healing, and provision. Letting go of the past also helps you recognize the lessons and growth gained from your experiences. God often uses loss to refine character, build patience, and deepen faith. By releasing what has been lost, you honor the process of growth and make room for a restored life that is richer and more meaningful than what existed before. In practical terms, letting go may involve forgiving, releasing grudges, changing thought patterns, or making decisions that prioritize your well-being and spiritual growth. It is a conscious act of trust, acknowledging that God is in control and that He has better plans ahead. In summary, letting go of the past is a crucial indicator that God is preparing to restore everything you have lost. When you feel a shift in your heart, a release of old pain, or a newfound ability to move forward without carrying the weight of previous setbacks, it is a sign that restoration is near. By embracing this process, you open the door for God's blessings to flow into your life, allowing Him to replace loss with abundance, sorrow with joy, and despair with hope. Another unmistakable sign that God is about to restore everything you've lost is the presence of encouraging signs in your life and the world around you. These signs may appear as small, subtle confirmations or as remarkable coincidences that point to God's hand at work. When God is orchestrating restoration, He often communicates in ways that remind you of His presence, guidance, and faithfulness. Recognizing these signs strengthens your hope and assures you that the season of loss is ending. Encouraging signs can manifest in numerous ways. You might experience sudden bursts of clarity or insight, see repetitive numbers that hold personal spiritual significance, or encounter people who deliver messages that resonate deeply with your situation. Even natural occurrences like witnessing the beauty of a sunrise, hearing a song that speaks directly to your heart, or receiving an unexpected word of encouragement can serve as gentle nudges from God. These moments often carry a deeper meaning, guiding you toward restoration and new opportunities. Such signs also often come in the form of timing and alignment. For example, a problem you have been praying about may suddenly resolve in an unexpected way, or a door that seemed permanently closed opens at precisely the right moment. These coincidences are not random. They are God's way of signaling that He is actively involved in your life and that His restoration is imminent. Being attentive to these signs demonstrates your openness to His guidance and allows you to move forward with confidence. The Bible frequently illustrates God's use of signs to communicate with His people. In Habakkuk 2:2-3, God instructs, "Write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. It hastens toward the goal and will not lie." While this passage refers to the unfolding of divine plans, it also highlights the importance of recognizing God's signals. The signs may not always be dramatic, but they are consistent indicators that God is aligning circumstances for restoration. Paying attention to these signs strengthens your spiritual sensitivity. You become more aware of God's guidance, more trusting of His timing, and more patient with the process. Encouraging signs in life and nature serve as reminders that even when things seem uncertain or stagnant, God is actively preparing a path for your comeback. They help cultivate a mindset of expectancy, allowing you to embrace restoration with hope and confidence rather than anxiety and doubt. In summary, noticing encouraging signs in life and nature is a powerful signal that God is about to restore what has been lost. These signs, whether small or significant, are divine confirmations that your prayers have been heard, your faith is being rewarded, and your life is entering a season of abundance. By recognizing and trusting these signs, you position yourself to receive God's restoration fully, understanding that His timing and methods are perfect, and that what is coming will exceed what was lost. One of the most profound signs that God is about to restore everything you've lost is Emergence of unexpected joy in your life. Even amidst challenges, loss, or uncertainty, you may begin to notice moments of happiness, gratitude, or inner peace that arise seemingly out of nowhere. This joy is not dependent on circumstances. It is a supernatural sense of contentment and hope that comes directly from God. It is a signal that restoration is on the horizon and that He is preparing to replace your losses with blessings. Unexpected joy often begins subtly. Perhaps you find yourself smiling or feeling grateful for small things that once went unnoticed. Simple experiences, a kind word, a beautiful sunset, or a peaceful moment, may bring a sense of delight that you cannot explain. This joy is a preview of what is to come. It serves as God's way of reminding you that your current pain is temporary and that He is actively working to restore your life. This joy also strengthens your faith. When happiness surfaces despite challenges, it demonstrates that your hope is anchored in God rather than in fleeting circumstances. It reminds you that your value and purpose are not tied to what you have lost, but are rooted in His love and faithfulness. The Bible often links joy with God's promises. In Psalm 30:5 it says, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." Even when life feels dark, the appearance of joy signals that a new season of restoration is approaching. Unexpected joy can also inspire gratitude and perspective. It helps you see the blessings that still exist in your life, even amid loss. Gratitude opens the heart to receive more, creating spiritual readiness for the restoration God is orchestrating. By focusing on joy, you shift your mindset from scarcity and disappointment to hope and expectation. This transformation is essential because God often restores not only what was lost, but also brings additional blessings that exceed previous experiences. Another important aspect of this joy is its contagious nature. As you experience God's joy, it may influence your actions, relationships, and decisions. You may find yourself spreading positivity, encouraging others, or taking steps that align with God's plans for your life. This not only prepares you to receive restoration, but also positions you to become a channel of blessings to others. In summary, unexpected joy is a clear and powerful sign that God is about to restore everything you have lost. When happiness emerges without explanation, even during challenging times, it is a divine preview of the blessings to come. This joy confirms that your season of loss is ending and that God is bringing renewal, abundance, and restoration into your life. Embrace it, nurture it, and allow it to strengthen your faith, knowing that what was once lost is on its way back, often in ways far greater than you ever imagined. Experiencing loss can be one of the most challenging seasons in life. It can leave you feeling empty, uncertain, and questioning your future. Yet, God's restoration is always closer than it appears, and His timing is perfect. Throughout this journey, He provides signs, sometimes subtle, sometimes remarkable, that indicate He is actively working to restore what you have lost. By recognizing and responding to these signs, you position yourself to receive not only what was taken, but also blessings that exceed your expectations. The journey to restoration begins within your heart. God often works first on your faith, perspective, and emotional resilience. He encourages you to let go of the past, trust His timing, and remain hopeful even when circumstances seem unfavorable. Every sign, from inner peace and sudden clarity to unexplainable favor, renewed faith, and unexpected joy, is a divine reminder that your season of loss is temporary and that abundance is on its way. Paying attention to these signs allows you to walk confidently toward the future, knowing that God's plans are designed for your ultimate good. Restoration is not merely about reclaiming what was lost, it is about transformation. God does not simply restore for the sake of restoring. He restores to elevate, empower, and strengthen you. Often, what he brings back is far greater than what was taken. Relationships may be healed beyond repair, financial provision may increase, and opportunities may arise that surpass your original dreams. By trusting his process, you allow God to bring fullness, beauty, and purpose into areas of your life that were once broken or empty. Recognizing the signs of restoration also helps you cultivate gratitude. When you see God's hand at work through answered prayers, guidance, encouragement, or divine favor, you develop a deeper appreciation for his faithfulness. Gratitude strengthens your faith, aligns your heart with his will, and prepares you to receive restoration with joy rather than fear or doubt. It reminds you that every trial, loss, or setback has been part of a greater plan to shape you, refine you, and lead you to a more abundant future. Ultimately, embracing God's restoration requires trust, patience, and openness. It requires walking in faith, even when you cannot yet see the outcome. By noticing the signs he provides and responding with obedience and hope, you demonstrate readiness to receive his blessings. Remember, restoration is often gradual. It unfolds in divine timing and through carefully orchestrated circumstances. By staying vigilant, prayerful, and expectant, you position yourself to step into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. In conclusion, God's restoration is a promise of hope, renewal, and abundance. The signs he provides are not merely coincidences. They are divine confirmations that your life is entering a season of blessing. Peace in the storm, clarity of vision, unexplainable favor, renewed faith, letting go of the past, encouraging signs, and unexpected joy all point to his faithful hand at work. As you recognize these signs, remain steadfast in faith. Open your heart to receive and trust that God will restore everything you have lost, often in ways more beautiful and fulfilling than you ever imagined. Your season of restoration is coming. Walk toward it with confidence, hope, and expectation.